Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tekamaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for
As a
your
part-time
patience.
traveling notary with a full-time job, balancing everything can be tough, especially when you're getting calls at all hours. That's where Sabrina AI comes in. Think of Sabrina as your personal assistant who answers every call, handles appointment bookings, provides quick answers to common questions, and filters out non-urgent inquiries. Sabrina works 24/7 so you never miss a client opportunity, even when you're tied up with your full-time job. With this system, you can keep things running smoothly without the stress of managing calls yourself, giving you more time to focus on your work, clients, and everything else life throws your way.
Scan the QR code for a free demo.
Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tekamaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience. Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tekamaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience.
Peace, peace, peace. Guys on mute. All right, learn how to work the computer. Gotta learn how to work the studio, man.
Oh yeah. Is the sound coming in clear? You good?
Yes.
All right, I can hear you. Yeah, man. Welcome everybody to the Notary Inside Show. I am your humble hip hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo, and I am accompanied by the other phenomenon by the name of Tekamaku, Mr. Notary Automation, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh. No need for a round of applause. No need. No standing ovation necessary, guys.
How you feeling today, bro?
Yeah, greetings from the West Coast. Greetings from the Golden States. Everybody out there listening right now. Sorry we're late, but we came here, never on schedule, always on time. Like Nas Escobar, the king of New York, says.
Okay, hey, speaking of Nas, Jim Jones and Nas, bro. Jim Jones and Nas.
This guy's out of his mind. He's saying Nas is a one-hit wonder. That's cool. He arguably has one of the best diss records ever created. He's still in his 50s, still creating records, which is phenomenal in itself.
Yeah.
And not only that, he's arguably one of the most creative people and these other rappers, they regard him as one of the most creative writers.
For sure. Nas is a legend. Period. At that point, and I like Jim Jones. I followed Jim Jones' career like before he had his first album, and he's come a very long way from where he started. But Nas out the gate achieved legendary status with Illmatic, bro. It was undersold, It didn't go platinum like people expected it to. But that album, growing up in New York at that time, when that album came out, bro, it changed New York City. It changed it. The mood changed. And by the way, this is around the time Mobb Deep was coming out. Mobb Deep actually sold more copies than Nas did. So if you had to be there, the atmosphere in New York was like, because there was a time it was like pretty boy this, pretty boy that. And then these guys came with this, Nas came with like a pretty boy rugged look. And then Mobb Deep came with the whole, you know, fuck a pretty boy, we're rugged all the way, bulletproof vest, camouflage, you know, clothes, Timberland boots. You know what I mean? So they changed the atmosphere, and all of this was coming out of Queensbridge. It was, oh, bro, the 90s was unbelievable. So me, Nas, all day, but I got to give credit to see, on a marketing aspect, Tech, and this would be a really, really great case study for people that want to understand some marketing. What Jim Jones did on the Joe and Jada show, that's Fat Joe and Jadakiss show, he created a frenzy of him being associated with Nas. Nobody ever thought about Jim Jones and Nas before until he said the comments. And I believe, and I truly believe, he knew he was lying. He knew he was making that shit up. For a fact, he knew he couldn't compete with. But what he did is he got his name to stir up a buzz in a way that everybody started talking about it. Now, you know who else did that?
Who?
Tommy Hilfiger.
Oh, really?
When Tommy Hilfiger was first coming out, nobody knew who he was. So what he did, he bought a billboard in Manhattan, New York. You guys can look it up. He said the best designers in America are, and it said Ralph Lauren, Perry Ellis, Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger. You see how smooth that was? And then he created such a buzz, like, who the fuck is Tommy Hilfiger? How can he even stand in the light of these guys? But he did. And the way I see it is that's exactly what Jim Jones did. He played that card. And then, you know, he got it up in a frenzy right now. Nobody believed he could beat Nas no, hell no.
So you're saying that is what he's saying is not true?
Oh, he knows that. He fucking knows that, bro. He knows he ain't got all those hits on Billboard. He lost his mind. In the age of AI and Google search, let's take AI out of this. Let's just do a Google search. Google will say that nigga lying. But he's really good. Another person that's really good in garnering attention is 50 Cent. Yeah, he'll say some outlandish, wild, dumb, crazy, dumb bullshit, and he knows how to play the media. Everybody thought his show BMF was canceled because, oh snap, Big Meech is out. They canceled the show. It was just a smooth media play. It's back on. Obviously, they recorded a bunch of new episodes.
Yeah, 50 Cent is masterful at that.
Masterful, bro. Genius at it.
Yeah.
I always remember this line, bro, when Jay-Z said, I should call paparazzi on myself. That right there told me that they know how to play the media into manipulating the media to broadcast what they want to broadcast. If you're going to call paparazzi on it, you're literally telling, or he probably have one of his assistants to say, hey, Let them know that Jay-Z is going to be at this restaurant at this time. Let the frenzy get out there. I'm sure the Kardashians do it all the time.
Yikes.
Gotta love it, bro. Like, can't take media serious like that, or marketing that serious, unless you are waging wars and you're literally trying to manipulate society for whatever, detrimental reasons. Trump is another one. He's a really good one in manipulating media. But he's a different caliber dude, man. He can send people to get killed. That's the difference.
So there's a good way to do it, and there's a bad way to do it, or a smart way to do it.
Yeah. So yeah, bro. We're gonna skip the notary trivia today, man. We're gonna go right into the topic. I thought it was a real important topic because things are moving so fast that people aren't really seeing what's happening. Like they can't forecast it because it's moving so quickly. And what's happening is people buying habits was already changing, tech, but it's really changing like faster than I've ever seen before. And what's crazy is that people are more accepting of this. They're accepting the new ways that are being fed to them, and they're not even questioning it. For instance, ownership is no longer a thing anymore like that. When you look at, okay, we'll take movies, for instance. You used to go out and buy a VHS, a DVD, a Blu-ray, and you would be able to own that DVD forever. Forever. You would have that DVD forever. Today, they're moving on to the online platforms where you're streaming. Now, streaming is great, right? But now they're saying, all right, if you want to buy Sinners, you could go ahead and buy Sinners, the movie, through Amazon Prime or whatever, or Netflix. But if you default on your membership, you lose those movies now. So the ownership isn't there anymore. They have these big companies like Zillow and the rest of them purchasing real estate by the bulk. They want to own all of the real estate and have everybody become renters.
So you're telling me that if you want to own the movie Sinners, there's no way to own it other than downloading it?
No, you could still own it. You can still purchase the DVDs, but the way it's introducing, why go to Walmart and Target and buy the DVD? Download it right here from your television set. You're already in front of it. You are already in front of it. Go ahead and download Sinners right now. Okay, you download Sinners through the Netflix platform. Now it's archived into your Netflix platform. But if you cancel Netflix for whatever reason, you lose that movie that you just purchased. So it's reshaping the mind of ownership. Ownership has a monthly fee now. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Like, if you've never been without streaming, that may not have an effect on you. If you've lived in a time where that didn't exist, then I wonder how that will affect you. See, before these platforms were introduced, I actually owned a collection of DVDs and videos and things like that. And you know what happens when the power goes out? You you look around and you say, damn, I hope somebody's working on this right now. Or when the internet goes out, you look at, I hope somebody's working on this, getting this back up, because if anything, the power goes out, then you're instantly reverted back in time. Electricity goes out, you're instantly thrown and thrust right back into an era where you had to communicate and talk and use your imagination and things that were around. You can't plug into your phone or your iPod or your device. So imagine if you were having a movie night or you had guests over and then you guys were watching the movie and then all of a sudden it goes out. Then what? I like the convenience. I do admire that. And there's probably more people who opt for that convenience, but at the same time, the ownership is really, like you say, it's important, man. If you don't own something, you really don't control it, do you?
Absolutely. That's correct. That's right. I think this is going to be a really, really good show for quite a few reasons. Is because we have a lot of different entrepreneurs that watch this show now. And they're still operating in a way where a lot of this stuff is becoming obsolete, like vinyl records, bro. You know what I mean? Like vinyl records is like vintage now. They're selling it like it's vintage. You know? And nobody got record players. They're buying the vintage records tech and they're putting it on their shelf as art. You're seeing it on the backdrop because it's art at this point. It's so vintage. The ones that own the record that you see on their backdrop probably don't own a record player. They're displaying it as art, like it's an artifact.
Yeah, there's not many people that own record players. They're out there though.
They're out there. They're even selling them in Walmart again.
I've seen them. Yeah, they had a record
but
player.
Don't be surprised if you see somebody put a box of a record player in their backdrop as well as an artifact, because they appreciate, you know, that time and era. Look, Star Wars haven't had Darth Vader in their stuff in a while. I still have my Darth Vader as a vintage thing, as nostalgia, because I love this character. He was just a badass, mean, I don't care, I'll choke you with my Jedi trick. You know what I mean? But this is a relic compared to what Star Wars is doing now on Disney.
Right.
This is what businesses have to keep in mind right now. People are not purchasing the same way anymore, man.
So what are the reasons why the buying habits changed?
You said why?
Yeah, what are the reasons that buying habits change?
I'm glad you asked, my friend, because that's what we're going to get into. But before we do that, let's go into a quick commercial break.
Opus Clip turns your long-form videos into short clips in one click.
Opus Clip is powered by AI, and it can create 30 clips in 15 minutes and outperform any manual video editing by saving 90% of time and tons of money. Opus Clip is so hot right now, it's like trying to get tickets to a Beyonce concert. So get Opus Clip now. Don't be the person who hears about it later and goes,
dang, I should have listened to Tiger Toledo.
Go ahead. Be the cool one in your squad. Try Opus Clip today for free. Just click the link in the description. All right, we're back. See that, Tech?
Yeah, Johnny Mathis greatest hits.
You know what I mean?
And when he grabbed the record.
right? Bro, there's no record player in this house.
Yeah, right.
This is just it's just art, bro. It's just a picture. That's it.
How's the
It's
quality
something-
of the record?
Huh?
How's the quality of the record?
Hell if I know.
I mean, no, I'm saying, is it in good condition?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. You haven't been scratching on it.
I might. If I get a record player, I can guarantee you, brother, I'm gonna be cut master flex on this shit.
Yeah, this.
If you think I'm not gonna be mixing on this thing, dude, I know how to mix, Tech. I know how to hold that. You know what I mean? I was fucking GQ from Juice in this motherfucker, bro. I was nice. Shout out to my brother Shams in Brooklyn that taught me how to scratch on the turntables. Oh yeah, I used to love that shit, bro.
Wow.
But again, it's we have records. We don't play them. We don't.
Yeah, even the turntables have become digitized now. The turntables that I have is electronic, and then it plugs into the program called Serato, which is all MP3, MP4 files.
See that?
So, yeah.
See what I mean? And now what does that do to the record sales of the artists now? Nowadays, artists aren't making as much money as they used to when their album comes out. Because there's so many platforms where they can download the music for free. Napster put a nail in the coffin with that. So now DJs, right, who used to have to carry crates into the club, oh man, wasn't that backbreaking, Tech?
Yeah.
You used to have a dolly and bring in all of your damn records in with you. You set up, and then you're spending most of your time shuffling through the records. Nowadays, they have a laptop. I mean, I looked at the most sophisticated new turntables that they have now. Oh, it's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
You got 2 monitors right here, touch screen. You can scroll through the music. You got 3 turntables, right? No records on them. You could do scratching. You got a soundboard right next to it where you can hit different sounds. Oh,
Yeah,
the DJ has evolved, right? And so has your customers.
No question.
So let's go into the first slide. Today's show is then versus now, the buying habits. So looking out how people were buying back then. Let me pull up this. So back then, 2014, right? We're going to do 2014 to 2024 because 2025, a lot can still happen by the end of this year. Who knows what will happen, right? So 64% bought primarily in store, and in the parentheses, those are where I got the stats from, you guys. So if you guys want to look it up, only 23% trusted online reviews. So if you were trying to get, 5-star reviews back in 2014, only 23% really cared. That's only a quarter of 100 cared about the reviews. Mobile purchases accounted for just 11%. Tech. What you think about that?
That sounds about right. Most people went to the store, shopped in person. Other people, the internet was around, but it wasn't as prominent as it was now. And I feel like most people didn't shop on their mobile phones, but the iPhone changed that, apps changed that, and now look at it, 2024. Look how much it is now.
Fast forward until last year, 77% buy primarily online or via mobile phone. You preach this all the time, Tech, that their website should be responsive. The way you look at your website on your laptop it should shift and look differently when you're on your phone. That is a responsive website. 77% of people are buying primarily online and via phone. That means they're not getting in front of a laptop. They're not getting in front of a desktop. That might be another thing that might make its way out, a desktop. They're not driving, getting in their car to drive to the store, or getting on a bus or getting on a train to go to these stores anymore. They're buying it directly from their phone. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. 91% rely heavily on online reviews. 91. 10 years ago, it was at 24%, 23%. Now it's 91% in just 10 years. That's a spike. Mobile purchases have risen to 56%. So if you have the notary business and your website isn't responsive on your phone, they're going to look at you. They may just jump off just off of that. You may lose a customer just off of that because they cannot make a purchase on their phone to your notary service. What do you think about that, Tech?
Yeah, this is evident. When people are looking for something, especially when it comes to the notary, everybody who needs a notary needs it not now. They needed it yesterday. And then the obstacle that's in front of them is that they can't actually get in contact with you because the website is clunky and it doesn't scroll correctly. And it disappears in the middle of them typing. Just all these dysfunctions that prevent you from doing something as simple as collecting money. There's somebody right in front of you trying to give you, they're trying to hand you an envelope full of cash. And then the reason why they can't do it is because you neglected to do something as simple as have a responsive website on your phone. And it's something that can be easily overcome.
Yeah, bro. This is serious. And again, we're not really factoring AI because AI is still very new. So there's a lot that is not, considered in this chart. But just know that it's going to change even more within. And if this is in a 10-year forecast or comparison, it's going to be in 5 years or less for the next one. All right, let's look at the next slide. Oh, I already pulled that one up. Let me do the next one. Okay. So why are the habits changing? So primarily, the number one reason right now, Tech, is convenience and speed. 83% of consumers prioritize convenience over brand loyalty today. That is a big shift. Now, not saying that brand loyalty isn't important. The Coca-Cola drinker is still going to be the Coca-Cola drinker. They're really not. But if they go to a restaurant and there are no Coke products, they're going to go with the Pepsi product or they're going to buy a RC. Why? Because it's convenient and they can get it right now. That's something that you got to, pay attention to. If you're unable to be somewhere, whoever is going to be convenient and service them immediately will get the business. That's especially true when it comes to this notary business. Tech, what do you say?
Bro, there's nothing you can substitute over speed. When you're ordering, I'm going to make this specific to the notary industry. When you can outperform another crosstown competitor, you're going to win every single time. Speed is the only thing that really matters when it comes to ordering a notary. If you can't respond with an answer, or you can't respond with some type of consultation, some type of talk, some way to directly communicate with this client, and you give them a message saying, we'll get back to you when we can. The chat bot response says, we'll respond to this in a few minutes. If you don't give that person an exact time when you're going to talk to them, or you talk to them in real time, you're going to lose that client. The reason why I can charge what people will probably consider an exorbitant amount of money, right, for something that they charge $2 for it, I charge $178 for it. The reason why I can do that is because I can do something that you can't. I'm faster than you. I can respond faster than you. How come it costs us $226? Because the last 4 people that you just called told you that they can probably get to you around 6:30. And I can tell you that I can get to you in half an hour. That speed is the neutralizer. So convenience, people will pay for it. Not everybody, but the ones who do is well worth it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Don't ever justify speed. If you can enhance your speed, do it. Don't ever compromise your speed for some other bulky thing. If anything, grab something that will make your company faster. The second thing is that social proof, right? 88% is user generated content over brand messaging. User generated content versus over brand messaging. What does that say to you, Tech?
Yeah, those are reviews, right? So somebody who, because you can tell everybody that you're the fastest, I'm the best notary public in the state of Texas. I'm the best notary public in the state of California. And it means nothing. Nobody cares. Your client has no idea what that means, and it doesn't matter to them because you didn't even answer the damn phone. So I can't wait for clients to get sick over that. So but on the other hand, you have 58 reviews, or you even have 3 reviews. It doesn't matter as long as they're all 5 stars. And each person says, "Wow, the notary came back, and they were very responsive. We called them in our time of need, and we'll be working with them in the future." Those type of things, those are going to be important. Your clients are going to be very responsive to that.
Yeah. And that's why you see a lot of these people, they're making these short little videos giving a testimonial. You go into any landing page there, you see a list of video testimonials on there because they understand how powerful social proof is. 88% of people trust user-generated content over brand messaging. Brand messaging would just be me and my company saying we are the fastest. But if a customer comes on and says these guys are the fastest, you're more inclined to believe them than some content of the company actually saying it. For example, Popeye's chicken sandwich, when it came out, so many people made videos and ASMR type videos talking about how good the sandwich was. You saw people holding their phone up, standing in the line, trying to get Popeye's chicken sandwich. Sandwich blew up because of user content, not because Popeye said we have the best sandwiches in town. Keep that in mind. The next one is technology and AI. 73%. Now, this will take a little bit of work, y'all. This last one is going to take a little bit of work, but you can get it done. 73% expect brands to understand their personal needs using AI tools. When you go on YouTube and you like a video, or you don't even need to like the video anymore. If you watch a video for a certain amount of seconds or a certain amount of minutes, the algorithm on YouTube will immediately start showing you other related videos to that video that you just watched. The same thing goes for Instagram. The same thing goes for TikTok, Facebook, all of these other brands. You no longer have to hit a heart or a like. It helps. It accelerates the content, or letting the algorithm know that this is what you're interested in. But you no longer have to be. So you can go on YouTube right now and look up sharks. Just sharks swimming in the ocean. For the next 2 to 3 days, you're probably going to see videos of sharks swimming in the ocean, other related videos to that. Because it said, okay, this is where John's attention is going. Let's show John more of this. Now, you as a business owner, you may say, man, how do I achieve that? How do I accomplish that? There are ways to accomplish it. Sabrina does that. She's able to understand your customers a little bit better. But you are the algorithm. You are designing your algorithm. You're the actual intelligence. Nothing artificial about you. You are the intelligence, and then it takes a little bit of work for you to design it a certain way. For instance, you may take a poll. You may send an email that takes a poll. You may give people an option of what type of content do you want to get from me? Do you want it on marketing? Do you want it on notary? So now you're creating this algorithm for your content. If someone's a new subscriber, they will get a new subscriber type content. Someone that has been on your emailing list for a while, they will get nurturing type of content. Someone that hasn't opened up your email in a while may get some come back, we miss you type of content. So you are responsible for creating the type of algorithm that people see. It all comes from the human brain. And then we'll go into the next slide real quick. Real stats you need to know. So online sales has reached $7.3 trillion globally in 2024. $7.3 trillion compared to $1.3 trillion in 2014. This is why every October Tech, I am just yelling at the top of my lungs about Black Friday. Get ready for Black Friday. Get ready. I've been doing it for almost like 7 years. Damn near 7 years. I'll keep doing it because I know that type of frenzy buying really only comes once a year. America has conditioned its Americans to just ball out till they fall out with shopping. For you to go up against these holidays it's suicide. You're going to compete against Halloween? Little old you are going to compete with this national holiday called Halloween. Okay. So you're going to compete with Thanksgiving? You're going to compete with Black Friday? You're going to compete with Cyber Monday? You're going to compete with Kris Kringle himself, Santa Claus? Come on, man. These holidays, if you haven't noticed, they roll back to back. It is nonstop. So let's just say you do say, you know what? I ain't participating in Thanksgiving or Halloween. One of them holidays is going to get you. One of them, we didn't even talk about New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Liquor sales is through the roof. Don't go against those waves right there. You either bow out gracefully and say, I won't participate in it. But if you're a business owner, your ass better be participating in all of those holidays. Matter of fact, starting your campaign right now would be a great idea. Next one is 80% of modern buyers expect personalized experiences. Look, if you're sending out an email and you have their first name, put their name in there. Use whatever code that, you know, the fixed name, and have it say their name. If you can, have it say their name multiple times in the email. You're answering the phone call, make sure you repeat their name. People want personalized experiences. Back then, they didn't care. Now they care. And last one, sustainable brands see 70% higher growth due to changing buyer values. Tech, you want to say anything on these three?
Yeah, the bottom line is if you don't have a website, you're already behind. If you don't use automation, you're behind. You don't use AI technology, you're already behind. These are things that are, these things have just become common. The customer expects these things to happen every now. If you're not, the sad thing about the notary industry is that most notaries aren't operating a true business. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is most notaries are operating in the capacity that they're self-employed. So that means they're relying on a SnapDocs profile, a Notary Cafe webpage. They're not actively owning, like we talk about ownership, they don't actively own an independently owned website. One that captures leads, one that secures phone calls or secures the appointments and then allows them to delegate the job. They're relying on these third-party services to do these things. So if SnapDocs or Notary Cafe or Notary 123 goes out of business, what does that mean for you?
Mm-hmm.
If their website isn't mobile responsive, if Notary 123's website isn't mobile responsive, what does that mean for you? That means you're not mobile responsive, so you're subject to you're at their mercy now. It's a bad equation, and many notaries find themselves in that situation. A lot of notaries find themselves. A lot of notaries don't have websites. How crazy is that? And you saw, how could you not have how could you call yourself a business owner in this day and age, like these stats that were just put on the screen? You don't have a website.
Yeah, it's 2025. Are we still debating if you need a website for your business? Like, are they really questioning should they have a website, Tech? In 2025?
They don't see the need for it because they don't have a true business. Many notaries are self-employed. Many notaries are not actually business owners. They're not. Nothing wrong with being self-employed, by the way. Nothing wrong with that. But if you call yourself being self-employed, or you call yourself a business owner and you're confusing it with self-employment, then you're going to find yourself in a state of perpetual confusion. Why aren't people calling me? How come this person is getting paid more than I am? What's up? What's up with my loan signing business? Oh, I did that. Now I need to do fingerprinting. Now I need to do permit running. Now I need to do field inspection. Now I need to become a wedding officiant. Now I need to do all these other things. Bro, that's not the problem. The problem is you don't have a website. That's the issue. The issue is you don't have a web presence. Your customers are. Why would a customer go to you, choose your business, and you don't have a website? You're immediately turning off the customer. The customers, they want something that's personalized.
Yeah.
Customers look for these things. These, like, if put it this way, if you are a notary and you do a self checkout at the Amazon store and then they send you a confirmation email, why wouldn't you do that in your business?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Amazon gives you a courtesy reminder that your package is on its way. Why wouldn't you do that? Why you certainly have the possibility to do it. The capability is there, but you're going to say, nah, oh, I'm just going to wait until Fidelity Title Company sends me a package. That's because you don't have a business. That's the reason why. You are self-employed, which is, again, nothing wrong with that. But if you are relying on another third-party app to feed you, spoon feed you business, and you're relying on some directory to prominently display your profile and hopefully that it ranks on the first page. Come on now, that's not business ownership. I'm calling people out today.
Keep it down. Yeah, bro. It's moving fast, and it's going to require people to move even faster. That's why we have some solutions. I got a couple of solutions for you guys here. How to adapt fast. You're gonna have to embrace the digital first strategies. Like, just you're gonna have to upgrade into the digital world at this point. The whole I'm holding my business up with duct tape and Post-its ain't working no more, man. I got file cabinets and stuff. Like, what are you doing? You know, hold on, let me shuffle through this paper that you dropped coffee on 5 months ago. This is crazy. So you're going to have to adjust and create mobile-friendly experiences for the people, for your customers, potential customers and all. E-commerce, they should be able to buy your product somehow, some way online without talking to you. Ask yourself, in your business, do you have the capability right now to have your customer book an appointment or buy your product without having to talk to you? Social media. You may not like social media. That's on you. But your customers are on social media. That's like walking down the street and you're a real estate broker, right? And there's this big, huge auditorium that says, we want to buy homes. Help us. You decide to walk right past it. Never really liked that hotel. I'm not going in. All your buyers are on this thing, but you choose not to because of personal preferences. Then why are you even in business?
Because I work primarily by word of mouth. That's why. I work.
Then you're not a business. Then you're a hustler. And when I say hustler, not in a bad way, how some people or some cultures will make it sound like being a hustler is a bad thing. I'm just saying that you're just a hustler. You find a small little opportunity, you capitalize off of it, make some money, and if you don't make money from it again in a couple of months, you're okay with that. But business owners can't run a business like that. They have too many tools, too many personnel. They have too many employees that rely on their decision making and their livelihood. You need customers every day. Next thing is you want to leverage authentic social proof. That's reviews and testimonials. If somebody offers to make you a video instead of writing a review for you, tell them, hell yeah, thank you. Instead of saying, oh no, you don't have to do that. Is that you? Have you done that before? Somebody offers to go above and beyond the call of duty to help your business, and then you be like, and then you pull this modest shit and be like, oh no, you don't have to do that.
I bet somebody's done that. I bet there's somebody out there who's done
of course, bro. I've done it and caught myself and be like, you know what? My bad. Yes, I'll take that.
Why'd you do that?
Who knows, bro? Probably not to look thirsty or something, man. Right? Like, who knows why I've done that? When people were willing to go above and beyond to help my business, and I would turn it down. Heck, there's people that with tips be like, man, your service was great. Here's a tip for you. Oh no, that's okay. I just enjoy what I do. I love what I do. The fuck? Take the tip. That's an additional metal badge of honor. Take the tip. Okay, and then the next one is to integrate AI to personalize and streamline consumer interactions and experience. Now again, plug, Sabrina does this. But if you don't want to use Sabrina, you're going to have to figure it out how you're going to integrate that stuff. Or get left behind. And then a business that is doing everything that I'm mentioning on here will eat your lunch and your dinner and your late night snack and your dark chocolate granola that you creep 3 o'clock in the morning to eat. They're going to eat all of it. And you're going to have cat food in your cabinets. Any last words on this one, Tech?
I'm trying to think. What's another word for streamline? What's that word? Streamline. Do people even know what that means? Y'all know what that means?
The shortest distance from A to desired goal.
I looked up just, I don't know. I'm just like, I know what the word means, obviously, but I'm just trying to think of what's another word for streamline. I hear that word so much. Oh,
I would call it, my hood definition will be getting to the bag.
Yeah, it's just too many moving parts. You got everything's, the more moving parts, the more chances something's going to break. You got all these moving things all over the place. And that's the problem that Sabrina solved. I mean, it was the question that Sabrina answered. We had all these moving parts and so many opportunities for things to fail. So we have to bring it all under one roof. So yeah, I mean, I like the word, but just when people hear the word streamline, you guys don't even understand how important that word is. That word is so important. My God, like, I remember when I did a notary appointment, there was a guy, he was a marketing exec. He was retired, but he had told me, he told me his wife booked the appointment and that I just asked him, I said, just what was your experience like using the new system that we have? And he said, you guys ready for this? This is a retired marketing executive. God, his house was probably about 5,000-6,000 square foot, really nice, manicured tea garden outside. And he was filling out some documents for some overseas bank accounts. So I knew the guy was pretty loaded. Anyway, I asked him, I said, what was your experience like using the system? And he goes, 2 things. I wish it would have told me that it was going to take me to another website when the confirmation was going to come. And when the email arrived, I didn't recognize it because it was from a different system. You guys catch that?
Yeah, that's deep. That's heavy. That's great intel.
Sabrina.
That's great intel.
Man. So, well, so that's what I'm saying. That word streamline, you guys don't even understand, man. That is there a simpler way that we can explain that? That's what. If there is, I'm gonna discover.
Shit, let's do it right here. Let's do it live, bro.
Yeah.
Hold on. For those that are living in the age, if you're listening to my voice, you should be using AI every single day. Every day. There's no exceptions. Let's check this out. I need you to tell me the many different ways I can use streamline or say streamline without using the word streamline. Give me about 10 different ways to say streamline without saying streamline.
Absolutely. We can get creative with this. Instead of saying streamline, you could say things like optimize, simplify, enhance efficiency, refine the process, make more efficient, cut down on complexity, smooth out operations, boost productivity, or even create a more seamless workflow. Lots of fun ways to say the same thing.
Create 10 more in a one-word phrase.
Sure thing. Here are some one-word alternatives. You could say optimize, refine, simplify, accelerate, unify, harmonize, condense, optimize, stream, and tighten. Lots of ways to get that message across.
You see how quick that was to get the responses?
Unified. I'll take the word unify. That's a good one.
The fact that we could get the answers that quickly, Tech. Mark Cuban made a video and said, you have an expert by your side every single day. I am literally a hybrid of AI. I am human I, HI, and AI. I am human intelligence and I am artificial intelligence. And that is because I have artificial intelligence in my pocket every single day. I'm on my phone every day. I have questions that come up every day. I need immediate answers. Bro, I went into Barnes & Noble the other day and I was looking at books and I said, what the hell am I looking at books for? Why am I looking at a 400-page book on how to do this when I could literally get the answers to the questions that I have in my mind immediately? I would probably have to read about 100 and something pages in before I get to the very part that I have the question about. I don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to do that anymore. And please listen. I'm gonna start doing AI videos. If you guys are interested in AI, learning how to use AI in a very advanced way, leave a comment, say I'm interested, or type in AI. That way I'll take a good gauge to see, if it's worth. It'll be a private webinar. It won't be online. It'll be like a private webinar, exclusive. It'll be free. But please pay and get, if you use ChatGPT, pay and get the paid version. Stop using the free shit. It's well worth it because what you do is you activate the memory component of your ChatGPT through the paid version. Without the paid version, it's more likely to forget what you ask it because it's not going to have that memory component. You wanted to listen to you. I have a prompt that I can send you guys. If you guys are interested, DM me on Instagram your email. I will send you this prompt. This prompt will change your life. But this is only for people that use the paid version of ChatGPT or Claude, but you have to use the paid version, and you had to have been using AI for at least 6 months, because it's going to audit all of the questions that you have been asking, and it's going to point out some blind spots, some of your genius. It's gonna extract some very helpful strategies and tips to help you have more clarity on how to move in today's market. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you guys the best. Tune in next Wednesday. We will have another powwow show. And with that being said, I wish you guys peace, love, happiness, prosperity, success, good health, wealth, and money. Peace.
As a business owner, you're juggling a lot, and managing phone calls can quickly become overwhelming.
That's where Sabrina, the AI voice automation that turns calls into clients, comes in. Imagine having a reliable 24/7 assistant that never misses a call, handles routine questions, schedules appointments, and directs important calls to the right people, all without needing a human touch.
This frees up your team's time to focus on what really matters, saves you money, and ensures every customer gets a consistent, professional experience. It's like having an extra set of hands, so you can focus on growing your business, not just managing calls.
Scan the QR code to book your free demo today.